Okay, for this next piece, we're gonna need it's called a snipping tool. And we wanna be able to copy individual pieces of the websites that we were just looking at so that we can capture like an idea board, if you will. Okay. And you can either use what's known as the snipping tool, and it's built into just about every Windows, desktop, laptop, and also Macintoshes, right? But it's called the snipping tool, and it's pretty simple. It just looks like this, and you click new, and then you can highlight certain areas, and it'll copy it onto the clipboard, and then you can edit this and put it other places, right? So you can either use a snipping tool or you can get something more advanced, and I like to use what's known as this little tool right here, and this is called Snippet, and this is by TechSmith. I believe this is a paid product. It's got a few more advanced features and functionality, but doesn't really matter which one you use. For this one, I'm just going to use the free one just so that you guys can follow along also. So we're going to use that snipping tool, and we're going to go through the websites and find out what we like and what we don't like. So let's move that out of the way. So I did like this option, right? Having three things here that kind of makes it easy. It kind of explains a process, if you will. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to put that into an idea board, if you will. Create a new slide here. And we're going to design ideas. We're going to delete that and we're just going to paste that in there. We don't need it to take up a whole page. We're just going to put a whole bunch of these onto one page. Next thing I want to do is scroll down a little bit more. Don't need that. I do like the list of companies that they offer. So I'm just going to click the little plus sign here. Going to select there. And we're going to copy that, paste that on here too. Don't need it that big. Just shrink it down, move it out of the way. Don't particularly love that. This isn't too bad. It's one option that we could do. Pull up my snipping tool again. Rather than having somebody click on and look at testimonials, it's just a lot better to put them into there, right? So just offer it. So I'm going to copy that. But it's an optional design feature here that we could show some interest in. So, and the reason is, why do it with 2 clicks when you can do it with 1, right? So this would, obviously, questions call us, that has to be a 2-click process, or at least a 1-click. Testimonials, though, why are you forcing them to go to another page to read your testimonials? Why not just put the testimonials on this page? Next one is start a quote. Okay, that makes sense. They have to start a quote. They click to another page, right? But this testimonial thing, that doesn't make sense. I think they're just trying to keep it in 3s for layout purposes. All right, so there's lots of stuff going on this guy's page. A couple things I like here is his branding, yellow, black, very easy to understand. I like his top header. It's all kind of front and center, and we're going to copy that, and we're going to put that on a page on our idea board. Let's go back to the next one. He's got all his things here. Award-winning agency. I'm going to shrink this down. I'm just hitting Control minus on the page so I can see a little bit more of it. I like this layout right here of the, let's see what happens when I blow it up. Yeah, I like that layout there. So let's pull up the snipping tool and we're going to snip that. Wrong one. And next one we're going to go to is this back and forth, right? The all choice proposal path, kind of explaining how that works. So this might be really good for Medicare, like explaining, hey, a lot of people don't understand that we need to get an SOA signed. We need to do all these, hoops. And it's not because we want to, it's because CMS requires us to. So, and I copied it into a video. I didn't want to do that. Wrong one. I want to use this snippet instead. So anyway, as I was saying, so it might be good to explain that, how they can get a quote and what the proposal process is or quoting process is, whether you're doing online appointments or in-person appointments. It's just good to explain that. So I like the back and forth. I like how those are highlighting. I did not like this. I like the fact that he's had it. I just don't like the idea that he's got to do scrolling. I think these recognition stuff, he's putting a lot of emphasis on the recognition. So that's fine. And then I don't love his footer. I think it's missing a few things, but overall it's pretty good. It's definitely, focused on more on the branding stuff, and that's fine. I think there was a better footer in there that we liked better. This footer is definitely a lot more compliant, so I'm going to copy this one just so we have it. And let's copy that and put it, oops, don't need to save it, I just need to copy it. And put that on there. So that's a footer. Let's go back here. It's a new page. I don't think that guy's got another nice footer. I think we've got one that's pretty good already though. So we're going to close that one out. For agents, I do like this layout. So if you've got an agency, that's a nice little layout to kind of display all of them, the circles with their contact information and stuff like that. So we may want to put that on a page if you have a bunch of agents in your office. And we'll copy that. And let's get to the next one. Close that one out. Close that one out. I do like this as a nice layout right here. I don't know. I don't know why people always put their social stuff at the bottom. It puts less emphasis out on it. I like having the social at the top also. I think this is a little bit small, but I do like their navigation bar up here. I think it's really easy to navigate. I think there was a better one up here. Yeah, this is a better one. And this is even better than that one. So I'm going to do that. I like the quote on here. So like this header also. It's got his logo and all those things. Let's copy that. And I like this, the get a quote. It's right there. And it's a lead capture, personal insurance, and tells them what you're looking for, right? Combined with some good automation, that could be valuable. So get that. Oh, keep on clicking the wrong button here. It's a little bit big. Don't need it that big. Let's move that out of the way. All right, what else we got here? All right, we did like these reviews. It's another way to do the quote there. Nothing really differentiating, nothing really sticking out here. I did like the video on the page. So let's copy that video stuff. Again, we're just doing an idea board, right? We're capturing ideas that we like off of other pages that you may want to include in your page. Not that you're going to incorporate everything, but it's a good idea to figure out what your layout is going to be. I like these 4 things right here. Kind of makes it easy. Get a quote for auto insurance, right? They don't have to go to 15 different places. I like that. And I like how the carriers are right above that. So the order in which your page or how your page is ordered can also make a difference, right? By putting those quote buttons right next to the carriers' names, it kind of reinforces that, hey, you can get a quote from top carriers. So I like that. And he's got the blogging here. The blog is simple. Let's go click into one of these blog posts. There. So I like the blogging at the bottom. So we got a lot of elements, right? Just a couple, we didn't even spend a half an hour on this, right? We're just pulling information, pushing it in the idea board here. Let's shrink that down so we have a place for it. Running out of space in our idea board. Might need to make this even smaller. There we go. All right, I think we're done with Matt. I think we're done with this one. I think we have something similar to that already. Got the logos here, got the testimonials. Those are good, those are good. That's all fine. That's all fine. That's good. And that's good. All right, so that's basically what we did, right? So now we've got some concepts, and what we want to do is start kind of just, it doesn't have to be pretty, right? What we want to do is start mocking some of this stuff up. And we're going to just take a copy of that original idea board, and we're going to get rid of this thing. And we're just going to kind of mock it up a little bit and see, okay, we had the header up here. So that's a nice header that we liked. And here's an image right there with the video. I like the video up top. And then maybe some, let's try that over there. I want to bring that forward. No, that doesn't look okay. So I'm just kind of playing around with the stuff. We liked the list of companies right above the get a quote for the other services. So I'll move this over here. And I'm going to move this to the front here. There you go. Put it over there. I like this. And this might be for a different page, right? Probably not for the main page. So I'm going to just duplicate this page and then just have that by itself, because that's for more of a pick an agent or contact us, something like that. So I'll get rid of some of this stuff. So this might be on an agent page or something. Already got this, already got this. We like that footer, so I can get rid of this. The footer is going to be at the bottom, so we're just going to structure it out there. It doesn't matter what it looks like right now. We're not going for that. We're just kind of going for layout. I like the fact instead of these, buttons, we just have a quick quote here. Get rid of that. So here's a little quick quoting area. And I like the video, so we're going to put that there. Order this, bring it to front. Testimonials and stuff. On second review, I don't particularly love this. We're just going to drop that. The blog stuff can go at the bottom. We don't need this one because we've got a better header. I'll go there. Do we want this? Yeah, we want this probably kind of squeezed in here somewhere. And we might want to put this one on its own page. So we're going to save that for a second page. Oh, there we go. Delete that, delete that. And the footer will go down the bottom. So already you can see just by doing this, we've got some good ideas. We can get rid of this. And this and this. I'm sorry. This is our design idea board. This is our mock layout stuff. We've got kind of, we're putting stuff together here, right? We've got a header that we like. We don't love everything about it, but we like a lot of it. We've got the quote stuff here, right front and center. We've got another get a quote button right here, but they can do this, get a quote. And you've got a video on the first page. Might want to blow that up a little bit. Put that in here. Running out of space though. I like this kind of explaining of the services and blog post down the bottom. So we'll leave some room for that. And then we've got some trusted by the carriers. And then we've got a list of other quoting stuff that we can do if you offer multiple services. So we got a couple different options here for getting quotes, which is what I like. We also have a second page. And this second page will be more about agents. If you have multiple agents in your agency, you could have an agent highlight page where they can pick an agent. So I like that. So that's 2 pages down already. And maybe a third page would be, hey, this is what the process is for getting a quote. So we got a nice process page there. An About Us page. Get rid of that and just do an About Us page. Do we have anything about us? So we might want to look up some About Us information. So we're going to insert here, insert a text box, just as a reminder about us, either me as an individual or as the agency. And next page we want to do is we want to put some information about content about the products. So we're going to have probably multiple product pages. Let's say we're doing life, health, and Medicare. Right, so that could be 3 different pages. So we'll copy this one 3 times and duplicate side. And let's see what else. Go back to our main page here. I think we got this pretty much nailed down. We're doing life, health, Medicare. We're working on our design layout. We haven't started working on the color scheme yet. Professional web design, client testimonials. So we may want to have some client testimonials on that first page. And we don't have any client testimonials on that first page. So we want to add some of those to the first page. Anything from our idea board with client testimonials. We don't, so we want to find a client testimonial layout that we liked. So we'll put that on just as a text reminder. And let's add a text, insert text box. So we want a client testimonials section. And we're just putting stuff in here to remind us, right? Doesn't have to look pretty. We're just looking for notes. All right, and next, let's go back up here. What else do we need? FAQ section, I think we have that built out, or at least credentials, certifications, education content, case studies. We may want to put a case study page. And then obviously there'll be some individual pages for the blog posts. So we'll need a blog post layout page. All right, this is coming together. Let's see how many pages we got here. We got the main page. This is the main lander. We have an agency page or an individual agent page, something like that. We also have a little process page. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 9 pages laid out already. And for a basic website, 8 to 10 pages is about, right. So we're right at the cusp, right at the thing here. We got the education. That's going to be our blog. We got the protect. We have our team page. We got the get a quote page, and we have a serve page, right? So you may want to break this out, like these pages, into life, health, and Medicare. So this one might be just life, and this one might just be health, and this one might just be Medicare. Got a case study page. There you go. I'm going to leave off the case study. I don't think a whole lot of agents have this, and it's just, so we're gonna save it, but we're gonna move it to the bottom here because it's not as important as the other stuff. There you go. And then I think we need a separate quote page. I know you can. We're going to duplicate that slide, and we're going to get a quote page going. All right. So that's it, man. I think we've got a pretty good layout, at least an understanding conceptually of what we're putting inside of this page and each page. We're going to get rid of that. We don't need that. That was a design idea page. We're going back to this. Yeah, I think we got a pretty good layout. We still need to do some research. We need to find what client testimonials are going to look like. But there's a widget inside of the MFG Plus platform that will help you out with that. We still need to do a page for about our agency, but most likely it's going to have an image. So we're just going to mock up an image here, and we'll do a shape. And the shape is going to be a square, rectangle. So we'll have an image here. Let's move this out of the way so we can see it. We'll have an image here, and then on the other side, we'll just put a text block. So now we're just kind of laying out the pages a little bit. All right, and for this one, now this one, do we want to include, what kind of life? So we might want to do whole life, term, IUL, right? So this could be laid out a couple different ways. And I like that back and forth idea. So we're going to insert a shape again, and shape in here and this way. Move that out of the way there. And this one is going to go back and forth. So boom. And then there'll be text here. So let's put another text box here. And we can just copy that. Again, not writing content, we're just working on layout, right? So we have our design. Now we're working on the layout for that design. So back and forth, it's got a good design there. You don't have to do that on every single page. You don't want it to be repetitive, but you do want it to be consistent, if that makes sense. So let's get rid of that. So for the health options, we may want to just copy the layout from that just to stay consistent here. Don't need that. We'll copy this and we'll push this over here. And then all the product pages will be laid out the same way for consistency. There you go. Center that up a little bit. And the blog post layout, I think we liked the blog post. Here's the blog post. So blog post layout will be this. And then when they click on it, it'll be the individual blog post page. Okay. And then this one will be a quote page. So this one we're going to be getting a lead capture form. So we need a lead capture form. Do we have anything in the idea page? We do not. I think I deleted it. So let's do a quick search here. And just put get a quote life insurance. Now this side it's okay because I'm just looking for a layout design for a quote. I'm not looking for something too extensive here. So it looks like all these are all car insurance. That's why they're just looking for a zip code. And if looking for a zip code is important for you, then you may want to do that nationwide. Get a term life quote. There you go. So what I hate is when you click on get a quote and you're like, okay, where's the quote page? It's right here, but it's like, okay, what's all this other information? So if this is what you need to get a quote, then those are what you need, right? So I don't particularly love this layout, but just as a placeholder, I'm going to, wrong one. I'm going to copy this. And get a quote page. Now, we could have a couple different quote pages, right? One for term, one for whole life, one for... We're just going to keep it simple and have one quote page. But as your site gets more and more advanced, then you may want to add multiple quote pages. All right, I think we've got a pretty good layout here. See, in about an hour, hour and a half, we have, a pretty good layout, content idea-wise. We know what's going on the main page. It's a little bit busy, and when we start designing it, we might want to change things up, but at least we've got our wish list in place. We've got an agency page for all our agents. We have our process page, information about us. We've got information about each one of our product lines. We've got our blog post page, and we've got a quote page. And we've got a case study page, which we're not going to do, right? But that's the basics. That's how we lay it all out and everything, guys. So before we get too much into it, the next step is we need content, right? So we've done the design, we've done the layout, but we haven't done the color scheme, the images, or the content. So that's what we're going to be doing in the next 3 sections. So stick around.